So we decided to build them a boat that will fit because it's a mangrove area, and there are some spots that bancas that are built like this cannot penetrate. So we built one with a low level. So again, it was 5 months in the making. The story started in October 2010, and then we hit some snags. At first, we couldn't find a boat maker until we found one from the community itself that volunteered his labor services to build the boat. And then next, we couldn't find the log because it was already banned for logging the lawaan. So someone saw the story, and then the DNR donated their confiscated logs. So so now we have all these resources, and then we started building the boat around January this year. And then by February, it was almost finished. And last March 27, I was there together with the community. And we turned over the boat. And the name is it's actually not Bagong Storya. It's Bagong Pag-asa. Bagong Pag-asa because we have a new government, we have a new administration. And this is a new chapter in our lives. So I believe that story really reflects. Parang it's what Arnold was sharing about a modern Bayanihan community. And again, what amazes me is what these kids and the community weren't parang siguro they were far off from the community. They weren't looking at it as a doll out because they helped build it. And I think that is a good model to follow. The community should always be participating in these kinds of initiatives. And if you're wondering how they're maintaining it, we made an arrangement with the barangay. They've assigned a driver. The kids will be taken to school in the morning, and then after they're brought to the school, they will use the boat for ferrying the seaweed because they were seaweed farmers. So the seaweed farmers will have to pay, and then adults who would like to cross will have to pay, so that they can have gas, they can have funds to keep up the operation. So that's how we're keeping it, the operation. And then it amazes me because just by that simple story, now there's a U.S. foundation, I think it's Children International, willing to donate a container van full of books. And then there's a descendant who hasn't been to the Philippines, who was from Zamboanga, who wants to donate because they have a huge hacienda still in Zamboanga City. So they want to donate something. So I mean, I just like to point out, what I'm trying to point out is this little story sparked something. And we're now building that community. We're teaching, I've talked to Anton Lim, who's the volunteer there, and he's talked about with other government agencies and other private agencies. And they're now forming a study on how to improve seaweed farming operations. So again, this story tells about something that we can really do in our own little way. The next slide, please. So I'm going to talk about what they actually told me to talk about here. The Philippines' image in the USA. Next slide, please. Basically, we know about the Ampatuan massacre. Basically, most newspapers and news media organizations cover the bad stories, stories that are coming from the Philippines. So you have this, the Ampatuan massacre, last November 23, 2009. And the next, of course, the perception that the Philippines is, next slide, is a disaster-prone country, especially with Typhoon Ondoy. And then the next one is also about, next please. The next one about the hostage crisis. So basically, I went around and talked to some foreigners in the Philippines and even here when I got here. And most of them would view us with these recent scandals that have rocked the country. But again, this is not the Philippines. This is just a few incidents in our history that have happened probably for a reason, but they are not 90 or even 99% of who we are and what the Philippines is. This reminds me of a story that my teacher shared to me in college. there is a art gallery, big art gallery in Davao City. I forgot the name. And before you can enter the gallery, there's a huge, they call it a painting, but it's not actually a painting. It's like a huge wall with white background, and there's a small speck of black. The painter threw some black paint, and there is probably occupies 3% of the whole white wall. And every time visitors would come to visit his museum, he would ask, "What do you see?" And 90% of the time, people would say, "It's the black dot, the black dot of paint." And then it gives him now a reason to say, "But the 97% is white. Why are you just looking at the black dot?" So again, I believe this is the same story with us, that we need to bring out those good stories, the 97%. And I'm going to show you how later. Next slide, please. So before that, I'd like to share my life story. I was born in Cotabato City, in Mindanao. So Mindanao is also has a special place in my heart. Davao City, I went to college there, and then my first job was in Laguna, and that's how I got into Manila. But basically, why I'm sharing this is, like you, we all have dreams of helping our families, of helping other Filipinos, and that's what made our parents or you to go to other countries to seek better opportunities. And same as I was born in Cotabato City, and I also wanted, better opportunities for myself and for my family. And I believe that's what's keeping us together. It's our dreams for our families and for the country. And that's also probably what brought all of you here today. Next, please.